Good evening. The State Weather Bureau warns of life-threatening conditions over northeastern Cagayan as Typhoon Marce makes landfall over Cagayan. Pagasa says Marce made landfall in the vicinity of Santa Ana, Cagayan at around 3:40 p.m. on Thursday, November 7. Based on Pagasa's 5 p.m. bulletin on Thursday, Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 4 is up over the northern portion of Cagayan, including Babuyan Islands, the northern portion of Apayao, and the northern portion of Ilocos Norte, where typhoon force winds may bring significant to severe threat to life and property. Signal number 3 is raised over Batanes, the rest of Cagayan, the rest of Apayao, the rest of Ilocos Norte, the northern portion of Abra, and the northern portion of Ilocos Sur, where there is moderate to significant threat to life and property. Signal number 2 is hoisted over 8 northern Luzon areas, which may expect minor to moderate impacts from gale force winds. Meanwhile, 10 other areas in the zone are placed under signal number 1, where strong winds may bring minimal to minor threats to life and property. Pagasa last spotted Typhoon Marce's center in the vicinity of Santa Ana, Cagayan around 4 p.m. on Thursday. It packs maximum sustained winds of 175 km per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 240 km per hour. According to the State Weather Bureau, Typhoon Marce will move generally westward and emerge up over Apari Bay. The agency says Marce will possibly make another landfall along the coast of northwestern mainland Cagayan Thursday evening. Pagasa warns of potentially life-threatening conditions due to typhoon force winds, storm surge inundation, and torrential rainfall in the Babuyan Islands and the northern portions of mainland Cagayan, Ilocos Norte, and Apayao. After crossing the northern portion of northern Luzon, Marce will exit the Philippine area of responsibility Friday afternoon or evening, November 8. Pagasa is not ruling out the possibility of Marce becoming a super typhoon after crossing northeastern Cagayan. The Philippine economy slows to 5.2% in the third quarter of the year, mainly due to weather disruptions which hampered various sectors. The Philippine Statistics Authority reports that the third quarter gross domestic product grew by 5.2%, sharply slower than the revised 6.4% growth in the second quarter. The third quarter GDP growth is well below the government's 6 to 7% target for the year. Third quarter's figure also marks the lowest expansion since the 4.3% in the second quarter last year. National Economic and Development Authority Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says the economy needs to grow by 6.5% more in the last quarter of the year to achieve the Marcos administration's growth target. The PSA attributes the expansion from the wholesale and retail trade, repair of motor vehicles and motorcycles, activities in the financial and insurance sector, and construction. China is accusing the Philippines of making a show of force that would supposedly escalate tensions in the West Philippine Sea as Manila holds large-scale combat drills in the disputed waters. In a press conference, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning says the Philippines is supposedly provoking confrontation in the West Philippine Sea after the armed forces of the Philippines conducted a simulated island seizure exercise at Cagayan Island.
国家之间的防务和安全合作应当有利于地区的和平稳定，不应当针对第三方，更不应该损害第三方的利益。在南海炫耀武力、挑动对抗，只会加剧局势紧张，破坏地区稳定。
As part of the Armed Forces Joint Exercise dubbed Dagat Langit Lupa, the AFP says BRP Ramon Alcaraz approached Cagayan Island along with its rigid-hull inflatable boats carrying the participating personnel. Navy personnel who were aboard the BRP Ramon Alcaraz conducted a mechanized assault during the mock retaking exercise at Cagayan Island, a maritime feature 20 miles away from Pagasa Island. Philippine Air Force's NC-212I later conducted a drop-off for the troops who retook the Cagayan Island during the drills. AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. says the exercise focused on external defense capabilities. Bronner notes that the 2 People's Liberation Army Navy warships and 4 Chinese research vessels were monitored in the vicinity during the exercises. He says they already expected it, pointing out that the Chinese vessels did not interrupt the exercise and seemed to be just observing the drills.
We are expecting it already dahil nga pinapanood nila kung ano yung mga ginagawa natin. And as I said, because this is the first time na ginawa natin dito sa area na ito, mukhang curious sila ano yung mga ginagawa natin. But we welcome that. It adds realism to the exercise.
Sure.
We are warning our neighbors or kahit na sino mang mga external forces dyan that we are capable of defending our islands. At hindi lamang yon, we are capable of defending our islands unilaterally, meaning tayo lang muna.
Beijing's presence is based on its assertion of sovereignty in almost the entire South China Sea, including most of the West Philippine Sea, even if such a claim has been effectively invalidated by the arbitral award issued in July 2016. The Armed Forces of the Philippines expects a new hangar on Pagasa Island in the West Philippine Sea to be finished before the end of the year. AFP Western Command Chief Vice Admiral Alfonso Torres Jr. says the facility, which began construction 2 years ago, is now 90% complete. Torres says the control tower on Pagasa Island will also become the headquarters of the Philippine Air Force's Tactical Operations Group, which will oversee the entire Cagayan Island Group. Pagasa Island is the largest maritime feature in the Cagayan Island Group, and it serves as the seat of the local government of the municipality of Cagayan in Palawan. Pagasa is located some 480 kilometers from Puerto Princesa City in Palawan. More than 400 civilian locals, including some 70 children, live on Pagasa Island, together with stationed military, law enforcement, and civilian government personnel. In October, a Chinese maritime militia vessel reportedly maneuvered dangerously close and sideswiped a Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources vessel near Pagasa Island. Beijing claims ownership over most of the South China Sea, including Pagasa Island in the West Philippine Sea, but China's assertions were effectively dismissed by an international tribunal ruling in 2016. President Bongbong Marcos will not attend the 2024 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Peru next week to focus on the government's response to recent calamities, according to the palace. Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cesar Chavez says Acting Trade Secretary Cristina Aldeguer Roque will represent Marcos in the event, thus her appointment as a special envoy of the president to APEC Leaders Week. Chavez adds that Marcos will prioritize domestic concerns, particularly assisting those affected by the recent tropical cyclones. The Apec Summit is scheduled from November 10 to 16 in Lima, Peru. Established in 1989, this regional economic forum aims to leverage the growing interdependence of the Asia-Pacific and create greater prosperity for the people of the region. In last year's Apec Summit, Marcos met separately with world leaders including Chinese President Xi Jinping, Peruvian President Dina Ercilia Boluarte Zegara, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, and U.S. Indo-Pacific Command Chief Admiral John Aquilino. He also witnessed the signing of the Breakthrough 123 agreements on nuclear energy cooperation with the U.S. The House of Representatives Quad Committee is issuing a subpoena against Senator Bongo's aide, Ermina Espino, otherwise known as Muking, for failing to attend its hearing on the Duterte administration's drug war. At the hearing on Thursday, November 7, Abang Lingkod Party List Representative Stephen Paduano makes the motion to subpoena Espino, who skipped the probe even after a show-cause order was already issued against her. According to Paduano, Espino's legal counsel attached her medical records in a letter responding to the show-cause order issued against Espino on October 22. Espino earlier attended the Senate Blue Ribbon Subcommittee's drug war probe on October 28. During the Senate hearing, Espino denied her supposed role as the disbursing officer in the financial operations related to the drug war, specifically allegations that she was handing out incentives to rogue police officers involved in extrajudicial killings. Espino clarified her role in Duterte's drug campaign, saying she only helped in providing office supplies, office equipment, and gasoline to the precinct commanders in Davao City. Retired Police Colonel Reina Garma claimed during earlier House Quad Committee hearings that Go allegedly coordinated with National Police Commission Commissioner Edilberto Leonardo in setting up a system to give police officers cash incentives for every drug suspect killed. Garma said Espino helped Go. Go has denied any involvement in the operations of the police during the previous administration's anti-drug campaign. He also denied the existence of a reward system in exchange for anyone's life. The Department of Education is eyeing to reduce the core subjects in the senior high school curriculum to allow students to focus more on work immersion. At the United Nations-led Regional Conference for Educational Planning in Asia, Education Secretary Sunny Angara says the DepEd is eyeing to reduce the core subjects of the SHS curriculum to just 5 or 6 subjects. According to Angara, reducing the core subjects will give students more time for on-the-job training or work immersion. He adds that this would make SHS graduates more employable even if they lack work experience. There are currently 17 core curriculum subjects in the SHS program. Angara and other DepEd officials earlier met with consultants from the Asian Development Bank to discuss streamlining the SHS curriculum. In July, President Bongbong Marcos called for changes in the K-12 program, citing no improvements in the employability of SHS graduates. A 2023 study by the Philippine Institute for Development Studies finds that only 20% of SHS graduates entered the workforce, while more than 70% opted to pursue higher education. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.